So we're here today to protest the Heritage Bill, which has been in the Dáil now for 3 years, and we've come together with a number of environmental organisations, along with the Irish Wildlife Trust, Birdwatch Ireland and Antashka, and over 30,000 people who signed our petition to say no to the damaging aspects in the Heritage Bill, particularly to do with hedge cutting and burning. Well, the Fine Gael government wants to extend the dates for both hedge cutting and burning, so more hedge cutting and more burning at a time when our wildlife is under unprecedented pressure. We really need to be going the other way, and we need to ditch this awful Heritage Bill.
They want to extend the burning season to April. The 1st of March is what it is at the moment, and they want to bring forward then the cutting of hedgerows from the 1st of September to the 1st of August, which is a disaster for us, particularly as beekeepers, because number one, that's the time of the year, we'll say, like when you're starting of the heather is starting to come into being in March, and if they extend it into April, well, that means this time of the year when forage is scarce, that is going to get all burnt up in the highlands. Then in August, then bees preparing for the winter, they build up their fat bodies, and through eating nectar and pollen from the late bramble and other shrubs and flowers and trees that are flowering right into the month of August. And it would be an absolute disaster for us, because not alone if it affects the bees, it also affects the birds, because the fruit, like the blackberry that still flowers in August, it won't be there anymore if they continue to cut it and take it out altogether.
Well, we hope we're going to see some political leadership, a few politicians changing their mind today, because they're about to pass some legislation which would be really damaging to hedgerows and uplands which get burnt by farmers. So this is about to make the situation even worse for nature, which relies on hedgerows and those uplands which on occasions get overburnt.
It is not good for hedges to be cut during August. It's the growing season. What will happen if you cut a hedge in August is you will get tender new growth coming up. If you get a severe winter, that new growth will be damaged by the winter, and the structure of the hedge will be severely damaged. The upland burning then is another problem. Already the laws are not being enforced. When laws get changed, confusion arises, and pretty much anyone can do anything.
Well, the biggest problem for us is the destruction of the hedgerows and taking them down from the 1st of August. That's a major problem for us, because the autumn and the winter feeding for what flies, both birds and insects, get most of their forage starting the month of August. And what we're doing now is we're getting rid of that, cutting the hedges away. Now, people say it's only in the main roads. Last year it was only the main roads, but many of the hedge in the fields were cut last year as well. One of the things that I've never understood, and I fail to understand it, is if a farmer cuts his hedge down on the road for road safety, nobody has any difficulty with that. But if you have 10 kilometres of field hedges, and all you're left with was brush handles standing up and nothing on them, for what reason? If the farmer took the hedge away to make his field bigger, there's an economic reason for the farmer to do that. Now, I don't agree with it, but I can see its logic. But to cut it down and leave nothing there to grow, that's of any forage or benefit or habitat for anything. The badgers, the wildlife in general, hares, foxes, the whole lot are disappearing, and we're driving them away, and the destruction of what's going on at the moment is absolutely horrendous.
Well, you imagine those nesting birds. You're nesting in a hedge and it gets cut. That's the loss of your nest. That's the loss of this year's generation of new birds going into the future. So this is about sensible management, and it's not about saying no management of hedgerows, but let's get that management right for nature and for farming. And there's an easy compromise here, rather than attacking the very basis of our nature in this country, which we all love. We all love farmland. We all love the farmers who look after these places for nature, but let's get it right.
You know, it's time to have a vision for how agriculture and how we manage nature, how we work with nature in Ireland. We need a new vision, a vision that supports positive actions for birds and for farmers. So we want a new vision in Ireland. And there's a lot of people out there who care about nature and wildlife, and their voices need to be heard too. And we can't keep saying that we're have green agriculture and then have these policies and laws that are going to undermine the protections for nature. It's complete and utter hypocrisy, and we have to stop with the fake news.
And for organisations that like to portray themselves as custodians of the countryside, to be supporting the provisions in this bill is more like calling the bankers custodians of the economy. It's absolute nonsense.
If we could keep even what we have at the moment, we'd be doing very good. But if we continue to destroy our vegetation, misfortunately, we're going to go from a green environment to a very dull and brown and black environment.
We do need more protection for our wildlife in the hills and in hedgerows, and in that regard we need changes. But this heritage bill is not the way to go.